and welcome to another Elevated Marketing Chat, where we discuss data-driven digital marketing strategies to help your business grow. My name is Jennifer Denney. I am the owner of Elevated Marketing Solutions. We are a digital marketing agency that focuses on solutions that are backed by data. So today we are going to be talking about digital marketing pricing and how much you should be paying. But before we get started there, let's get to our quote of the day, which we always go through. And so this week, my quote is, "None of us is as smart as all of us." And so, what I mean by that is that sometimes we have to step outside of our own lenses to see things from other people's perspectives to understand how it all works together. So, here at Elevated Marketing Solutions, we don't just say, well, because Jennifer said it, that means that's the way that we need to do it. We look at everybody's different opinions and we solve the best solution based on that, because we all come from different aspects of marketing, and that really helps us be the best for you as a marketing agency by taking that approach. So let's get to today's topic, and it is all about how much you should be spending on digital marketing. And really, just like anything that we talk about, it really depends on a lot of factors. And there's not going to be just one answer that's going to be right for you. There's really not a simple answer. About as simple as I can get it is, it really lies in the profitability of your marketing. So, what's your return on investment? Obviously, if you have a really good return on investment, let's throw some more money at it. And if you don't have a good return on investment, it's time to go back to the drawing board and develop a better marketing plan. The other thing, just as a general rule of thumb, is that the Small Business Administration says that you should be spending somewhere between 7 to 8% of your total revenue. So if you look at how much revenue you have of your company, you can definitely make a mathematical decision on how much you should be spending on your marketing, and then further kind of divide that down into how much you should be spending as far as digital marketing is concerned. So obviously, the larger that your company is, the more that you should be spending, and the smaller your company is, the smaller amount that you should be spending. Another factor that you should consider is whether or not you are a B2C or a B2B. Generally speaking, a B2C needs to up that 7 to 8%, up to 15%. And generally, if you're in a B2B, then you're okay with the smaller amount of 7 to 8%. So when you're marketing to the general public, generally your budget is going to be higher. Sometimes, though, the amount of money that you allocate towards your marketing budget really depends on what your growth projections are. If you're looking to have a huge growth projection, let's say you're just getting started and you're a startup and you need to have these huge projections of growth, there's a lot that goes into that, money that's borrowed and what have you, but in that instance, you need to have a larger budget in order to get in front of more people and really have more strategies going. If your budget is smaller, obviously it's a lot harder to be inside of both Google and Facebook and Instagram and all the different places that you need to play. Email marketing, content marketing. I mean, there's a lot of different strategies. And if you're looking for huge growth, then you need to make sure that you have enough budget in order to sustain all the different types of digital marketing that you're going to need. Now, everybody has to start somewhere. And so essentially you can start with a smaller budget if your growth projections are not as large and you can minimize that down and kind of spread yourself out more with a smaller budget. Now, your strategies might change though. You might not have a budget to, let's say, go all in with Google Ads or all in with Facebook. You might have to look at doing that because your budget is not large enough to sustain marketing in both budgets. So sometimes the amount of money that you need to give towards your digital marketing really depends on the type of business that you have. So an example of that would be a lawyer. So, a lawyer, the cost per click in marketing in Google Ads or Facebook ads is a lot higher than, let's say, if you're a veterinarian clinic where it's not nearly as aggressive. So depending on what industry you're in, you might have a different type of budget than someone else. Another thing to consider is if you are bringing a brand new product, service, or concept to the market. So if nobody has ever heard of this before and you need to spend a lot of time and resources kind of explaining why somebody needs this service or product, then you can expect that you'll probably have to spend a larger budget in order to build that funnel of top of funnel of people just realizing that they actually need your products or services and moving them down. So it's going to be a longer sales cycle versus, let's say, you're a plumber and there's not really any convincing that, your water main broke and you need a plumber who's available. That's a little bit different. Now, not to say that they don't need top of funnel marketing as well, because I believe it all works together, but you're going to need to take that into consideration when determining what kind of budget you need to spend. So another thing to consider is targeting. And if you are obviously just trying to target, let's say, a 20-mile radius around your business, that's a different type of budget than, let's say, you can service anywhere in the United States. So sometimes, if you don't quite have the budget to spend, you need to hone in your target area and really make sure you can stretch that money as much as possible versus trying to be a really thin budget and cover the entire United States, even though you actually can service the entire United States. So it's important to keep that into consideration because it could really dilute your marketing efforts if you're not properly funded for the area that you're trying to cover. So another thing to look at are what are the resources that you have both in-house and at a marketing agency. So typically in-house, it's plausible that you might have one person in-house, and so you're thinking that this person can handle all types of marketing across all scales, and so you're kind of looking at your budget like this person should be able to cover everything. And the reality is that digital marketing has some really deep crevices on different types of marketing that, although it might seem cheaper to have somebody in-house that does everything, you're likely not getting the full ROI when if you hired somebody in a marketing agency that potentially is an expert at that, you would get a better return on your investment. It's always, trying to use the resources that you have, but sometimes it just comes down to the talent that you have and what is going to be the best for you to market. So another question that often gets brought up is there a standard pricing across digital marketing agencies? And the true answer is no, not really. They're all across the board. You might have somebody that is really expensive, but yet they don't deliver. And you might have somebody that's inexpensive that does deliver. And that's the tough part as a business owner and determining who really knows your stuff. And so when it comes to pricing, I think you have to dig a little bit past what is the price that's being put in front of you. I know, a lot of times logic might be, well, they're more expensive, so they must be better. And that's just not always the truth to the matter. And so I think digging past what are their referrals, what are their references, what kind of work can they show you? Are they asking the right questions? Do they instantly give you a price without really understanding what your problems are and what solutions that they can bring to the table? It's quite possible that they have pricing that is kind of, the same across the board, which makes it easy for them to scale, but that doesn't mean that they're going to give you the best quality work. It just means that they're set up in order for them to be more profit driven. And, in my opinion, you really want to look for the person that is going to understand what your specific needs are and develop pricing that is going to make sense for what you need. And they're going to develop a digital marketing program that makes sense for what you need and not what they need. So sometimes on the other end, you might have a digital marketing agency that's basically, pricing out for a certain, internal employee that, they need to make sure that they're always full of work. And so they're developing a strategy to, make their own needs more important than what is important for you. So those are some things that I would definitely watch out for. You know, like I said, how much they cost often depends on what they're doing for you. So, there's a difference between managing ads versus content writing versus SEO versus organic social media, and all across the board. Different types of marketing really, can cost different amounts of money based on the amount of time and effort that has to go into it. I would say that SEO is probably the most complicated and labor intensive, so that's why it does tend to cost more. However, I can see from a business owner, it's the more elusive and it's harder to track and harder to show, exact results when it comes to SEO. So it can seem a little bit more elusive versus, let's say, running ads is a little bit more straightforward on turning it on and off versus SEO. You can, work on things today and it might take 3 to 6 months before you see the results of your investment. So keep those in mind as well. And, at the end of the day, there should be lots of discussion going back and forth of trying to understand what do you have on an internal team and what do you need to fill the gaps in order to make a strong digital marketing program. And so it's not a straightforward answer, but there is a lot that goes into deciding what your digital marketing budget should be. So clear as mud, right? Hopefully, I haven't made it too confusing, but there's a lot to think about when it comes to your digital marketing. So that is it for today. You can like, follow, or subscribe on our many different channels. You can also learn more about us at elevatedmarketing.solutions because we bring solutions to your digital marketing problems. Again, my name is Jennifer Denney. I am the owner of Elevated Marketing Solutions. And next time we are going to be talking about what are the digital marketing trends for 2021. So this is a big one. It's usually something you see every year at the end of the year where we all kind of discuss, what we should be looking at when we come to 2021. And that's going to be on December 3rd at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, everybody, take care.